Yeah, we're starting early. The first thing Mom did was ask the Chinese flight attendant how to say delicious in Burmese.
I was so shocked when she said, I don't know, and then she said, I'm Chinese.
Like, this is an Air China flight, Mom, you didn't realize. And we just got lost in the Vancouver airport. When I was 16, my mom made me a promise. She said, one day, when we're not broke, I'll take you traveling. Well, 20 years, 7 trips, and 17 countries later, she's more than made good on her promise. We're on board our Air China flight to Taipei, and it looks like we're living in the lap of luxury here. Mom bought us not the cheap seats. Like, you can tell who the first-time flyers are here. We're like pushing buttons and... You know, Mom, usually these videos are only 45 minutes, so you better figure your seat out fast. Whatever, we're please prepare for arrival in Taipei. No, I almost have the foot race right. Right, the fog. So we've arrived at a hotel in Yangon in Myanmar after a flight from Vancouver, Taipei, Yangon. And the first thing I noticed at the hotel was that it, for some reason, has a big dinosaur in it. Anyway, it's our first full day of sightseeing in Myanmar. By the way, some of you may be wondering why I appear to have gained a week's worth of beard growth and tan overnight from a flight. Just ignore that for now. Continuity is not one of the specialties of these movies.
Yes.
We arrived in Yangon, the capital city of Myanmar, during the New Year's water throwing festival. Yes, this is a thing. We started at probably the most iconic site in Myanmar, the Shwedagong Pagoda. The Shwedagong Pagoda is a stupa, which is a monument that is solid on the inside and made out of rock or brick or whatever, and is usually covered in gold. At the top, they have a piece called the umbrella that has various jewels and bells. The Shwedagong Pagoda was part of a much bigger overall compound. It's like the world's lamest exhibition. Lots of interesting things to see, but no alcohol or food. Or rides. There were Buddhas, mini temples, shrines, more Buddhas, a bunch of lesser pagodas surrounding the big pagoda, Buddhas made out of bronze, Buddhas made out of wood, Buddhas made out of stone, and Buddhas made out of jade. The current Buddha, Gautama, received enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, and of course, we stopped to look at one. And as usual, I was a spectacle. No, the guy behind you's taking the photo.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Photo section number 1.
So as we were wandering around, we saw people pouring water on these statues, but as usual, had no idea what was going on. The story is, you find the statue that matches the day of the week you were born, and then pour water in a certain pattern for, probably good luck.
3 times or 5 times is your desire. So it's the Buddha statue first.
Yes.
After that, behind the yellow statue, it is we call the Nut Spirit.
Yeah.
And then after that, the red color, it is we call the planetary bulls.
Oh,
yes.
And I wish for something?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And then after that, there is your statue, your animal symbol.
Is that what is
Mouse.
that? The mouse?
Yes.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. In Chinese culture, I'm the mouse.
Oh, yes.
You get the idea.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to win the lottery now.
What's my wish going to be? I can't win the lotto because I don't buy a ticket. I wish that Mom wins the lotto because it's kind of the same thing anyway. Baby needs a new SL. And here we are
That dragon.
on the dragon, Mom's a mouse. What was the deal again? 5 on the first statue, 5 on the back, and then 1 on the dragon?
Actually, is the most of the Myanmar people are pouring onto the Buddha statue is according to our age. So, for example, I'm 36. So sometimes it's also the 36 is so many cups
Yeah,
of water.
I'll round
So
it down.
that's why the 3 times or 5 times.
Right.
3 times is the 3 gems: Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So the 5 times is the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and parents and teachers. So it's me. So that's why we made the 3 times or 5 times.
I'll spare you the unending pores.
The lights behind the head of the Buddhas denote that he's received enlightenment. So if there's no lights, he's not there yet.
Lights are off, but no
Lights are on. Yeah, that's it.
One of the features in the Shwedagong Palace is there's a bunch of bells all over the place here. And this particular bell is made of bronze and it weighs, I don't know, like 30 tons or something like that. But way back in the day, apparently the British tried to steal it. And then they loaded it up on this barge, which is symbolized by a painting behind me. And I guess the barge like sank or something. And so they waited till low tide and the Myanmar people stole the bell back and brought it here. And they're quite proud of it. Oh, and this bell is called King Singu's Big Bell. And if you're curious, you can scan the screen in a moment for details. It always amazes me, no matter what country I'm in and how hot it is, there's always some guy wearing jeans and a leather jacket.
Near the city hall.
So this is the, what's this called again? Oh, right there, Sule Pagoda, like literally right in front of me. And we're warmly welcomed.
Our country is the Buddhism country. Buddhism is also the Theravada Buddhism. The Buddhism is the 2 main school. It's the Theravada and Mahayana. So the Theravada is the Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Sri Lanka. The Mahayana is also the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean is the influence of the Mahayana.
And isn't Bhutan Mahayana Buddhism as well?
Yes.
I'm impressed. I didn't remember that.
I remembered a thing. I learned something. You have no idea how rare this is. The Sule Pagoda was essentially the same as the Shwedagong Pagoda, but still equally impressive. One of the other funny things I noticed here, so Mom, I don't know if you remember, you told me the story when you were in Moscow in like 1973 or something like that.
Yeah, I know where you're
Yeah, I
going
know where I'm
with
going with
one,
this.
yes.
All right, yeah. So Mom told me the story a long time ago when she was in Moscow, about when she was in Moscow, and there was a vending machine that sold, I don't know, pop or water or whatever it was, and there was this cup in the vending machine. And so she saw some guy go in and put his Copex in, and the cup filled up with liquid. The guy took the water, took a swig, and he put the cup back in the vending machine for the next person to come along to the vending machine. 43 years later, we're here in Myanmar, and all around the pagodas and everywhere around here, there's these water bottles, these water coolers, and they have cups like zap strapped to them, and you put it in, you take your drink, and you put your cup back in. It's like nothing like swapping spit with several hundred Myanmar natives, but not quite that dehydrated. I just stick my head under the thing and push the button.
Yeah.
Or just like lift up the entire jug and just drink out of the jug, like the 19-gallon jug. This is hilarious for their New Year's celebrations here. The people drive around in the backs of trucks and they carry things of water with them. And then they just huck it at random people or each other or anyone. So you get it. There's a ton of people around here that just soak. We're good? All right. Time to get in the car. Yeah, oh, for the water part? Do you find this weather hot, or is it just us wussy tourists? You don't think it's hot here?
No.
It's 93 Fahrenheit out.
So sorry, we cannot go inside. Yes.
Okay.
So, but the outside is also the very hot. It's also the same like with the Shwedagong Pagoda and Sule Pagoda. Would you like to go? Some of the people are very bored because the same temple and same pagoda, so same platform. So that's why I will ask you.
We're here. We're here.
Quick tour through. We wandered through the main shiny room, past the pond where the turtle couldn't get up on the thing, into the room where there was, I'm going to go with George Takei with a fistful of cash, and then another building with a shiny room and a blinking Buddha. So this is our final stop for the day. We're at the reclining Buddha. And I will hereby recite what I remember that the guy told us in the car. This is our final stop, and it's the reclining Buddha. That is all. His mental image. You see that guy scrubbing the Buddha over there? There's a guy over there with the big, I was thinking like, who's a good Buddha? Who's a good Buddha? The Buddha was a thing. I really don't know what to say. It was just this monumental piece of architecture that was there for us to see. Okay, continuity challenge, Chris here again. It's rant time. One of the things that the guides have said repeatedly is that the lights behind the Buddha's head symbolize that the Buddha's received enlightenment. And they're LEDs, and since Buddha's been around since about the 15th century, at least the statues have, and white and multicolored LEDs have only been around for the last couple of decades, I'm pretty sure you guys just made that up. Okay, Mom wants to disrespect the Buddha somehow. I don't know what's going on here, but she's like, I want a cheesy shot. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Not quite sure if this will qualify to send her to hell, but... Okay, hang on here. Okay. Sorry, that's the seat for the monk?
Yes.
How tall is the monk?
The monk?
Is
Oh no.
Oh.
Not look like you.
All right, this is definitely not what the bottom of my feet look like. We're at one end of the, I want to say prone Buddha, laying Buddha, leaning Buddha, I forget what it is, where we are. Anyway, there's this big mural that kind of looks, it's really well painted, it's really interesting, but it looks like it has numbers in these little bubbles, so it just really looks like a really big advent calendar. Which reminds me, I want some chocolate, because I don't have chocolate in this country. I have a sticker. We're in an airport. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense, but here we are. It's Saturday, April, I'm going to go with 16th.
16th,
The 16th
yes.
today. We're flying from Yangon to Bagan. Yes, that's right. And we're in another one of those controlled chaos airports.
Instead of a VIP lounge, they have a CIP lounge.
CIP lounge? Oh, CIP lounge. Kind of important person? I don't know. So yesterday in Yangon we saw the Shwedagong Pagoda and 3 other lesser pagodas. Today we're off to, what was that town? Bagan to see more pagodas? Yeah. We boarded our Air Caboose flight, and after about a half hour we arrived in Bagan. Hello. Good morning. Yes, the water throwing festival was going on here as well. So we're at the, what's this place called again? Is that what it does? Is that what the sign says?
Yes.
The Shwedagong Pagoda. This is the first of our pagodas in Bagan. There's apparently 3,000 of them in this part of the world. I assume we're going to see all of them. As with our previous visits, we started with the giant gold pagoda in the middle of the compound.
And on the top there is a gold leaf. They are going to stick on that. They gilt a real gold leaf on the top.
And we saw the other buildings on the compound. And then ended our tour hitting the bell.
If we share it, our merit, we are going to hit it to the bell. So first time we are going to hit it to the earth. That means we will announce to the sensible being, I want to share my merit to you all. So that's why it hit to the earth. And after that, mostly we are going to hit to the lip. That time we can get a nice sounds, nice tone. Like this. So after that, we have to wait a little bit to finish the sound. And after that, hit to the earth again. And then hit to the bell. When we hit to the bell, that time we are going to hit in 3 times. So now it's 3 times.
I'm templed out already. It's only day 2.
All right, one stupa down, some indeterminate number left to go. So sitting out at the pool on our break, we have breaks every day, usually from about noon till 4 to avoid the heat of the sun. And I left my watch in the sun, and it had temperature of, okay, now it says 46. A second ago it was 47. It's a little warm. According to Mom, this looks like Angkor Wat.
It does, without the light bulb there in the front.
Oh, the security camera?
The same type of architecture. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I don't know, that security camera does look pretty 11th century to me though. That's the other running joke, is it's New Year's here, but it's the year 1348, and it certainly feels like it from the wireless internet. So we've been going around this Angkor Wat 13th century temple, and we go in one end and there's a Buddha in one corner, then we turn a corner and then there's another Buddha, and then we turn a corner and there's another Buddha. It's like the Buddhist version of Groundhog Day. We left the main square building with all the Buddhas in it to go to the next building with all the other Buddhas in it. Weren't we just here a second ago? But they like put a bunch of stuff in the room?
No, this guy's ears are shorter.
Oh, right. Yeah. So just a second ago, he came into a different building, walked around a corner, and there's just the Buddha that looks identical to every other one we've seen. There's a corner up here. I'm going to guess we're going to turn the corner to a long hallway to the side profile of the Buddha. And I think we get lunch now.
I hope so.
Yeah. So it's afternoon. We've passed the heat of the midday sun of, I think I took a photo of my watch earlier. It was 46 degrees in the sun. And we're off to, I think, Temple, Lacquerware Exhibition, Temple Sunset, home. Open road.
My family, my brother and my sister and me can show to you how they make it, okay?
Very nice.
Yeah, the lacquerware exhibit was basically a store. Mom's getting the sales job now.
We made 6 months.
Yeah.
This is 8 months. 8 months.
8 months.
8 months, yeah. Because this is a little expensive.
Note the sales technique on the foreigner.
Yeah, it's 8 months. Oh, and it's all done by hand. Oh.
How much is it?
150.
150.
Do you like it 150 US worth?
I do.
Then to
Because
me-
it's really different, because remember that thing in India I really loved and I never bought it, you know, that big round.
The giant camel bone thing? This is you making up for the fact you didn't drop $4 grand?
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't that
Or
expensive.
$2 grand,
but,
1,800 I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was expensive. So, all right. I will take these, all right?
So funny story, Mom picks out this wonderful bowl or plate she wants to get, and guess who forgot her credit card?
Rats.
And guess whose credit card didn't work in Myanmar? This guy. So anyway, they sent us on our way with a bowl and a promise to pay $135 US. We're here at the something or other temple, and it's the other parts I do remember, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is renowned for its frescoes or paintings, right? Murals, yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Moon architecture.
I do pay attention occasionally. It's the Gabyaki Minkaba temple. You're not allowed to film in here, and they checked.
Is your camera on?
I will show you.
The funny part about the water festival is that people had seemed to have completely run out of shits to give.
What is missing? Car wash.
It's actually cooled down quite nicely here. There's a breeze and it's only 32 degrees. It's like Suk's wedding in here. Having another Groundhog Day moment here. We turn corners and see the same things. That one is the guide's favorite one. Now we're looking at the fourth one, but I thought we'd already seen 4. Or 5 or 6, or I don't know. Oh, this one's different somehow.
Behind the teak.
Okay.
Before that is made by the metal.
Oh.
That one was damaged by the British people.
Oh.
So we have to replace it again, made by the teak wood again.
Is that a different plate of money now? I have no idea. So we're off to see the sunset at the Shwedagong Pagoda. Us and like a million other people. It's probably safer for you if you're in front. This one's good? All right. We took a quick flight from Bagan to Mandalay. Mom's assessment of Mandalay is...
So far, Saskatchewan with pagodas.
That's funny. It's pretty accurate. It does look a lot like Saskatchewan with pagodas. I was just going to say, this is weird. I've never been in an empty airport before. Like, nobody.
See, to this pagoda, the main pagoda, we have 4 entrances, east, west, south, north. So along this entrance, we have the passageway. On the passageway, we have shops like this. So the shops here are very important for the local people, especially for the newly married couple, because they got to come here. They have to decide which Buddha they got to be bought. Because the Buddha they bought going to be with them for the rest of their life. Every Burmese family, they must have their own private shrine or the private prayer place. So they decide whether it's according to their budget. If they are rich people, they can go for the bronze, big one. And also, after buying the Buddha, they must invite the monks to come and do blessing.
Okay.
You guessed it. We went into the giant gold square building to see the gold Buddha statue, which people were still sticking gold onto. And how much gold was in the Buddha itself again?
2 tons.
2 tons?
Yes. Now will be more than 2 tons. It was about, record was about 2 years back. They say it's 2 tons. So now will be more than 2 tons.
Okay, let me break in here for a second. It's rant time. This is a couple of days later in a different city, but I had a really crappy night's sleep, so I'm in a prime rant mood. One of the things that's been kind of bugging me while I'm here is the question of economic resources. Why in a country where you don't have fresh drinking water do you spend an inordinate amount of time, energy, and resources maintaining all these statues? Like, I get the historical significance of some of them, but okay, pick one, the biggest one, the oldest one, yada, 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 whatever. Send all the tourists there. Spend your money on useful things, especially if you look at the lineup for the Buddha. Well, it happens in a little bit, so okay. Cut back to 2 days ago. I'll be back in a second.
He's taking your picture.
Oh, he's taking my picture. Trying to get up. Oh, this is an old lady thing.
So we walk past the side view profile of the Buddha, and you can actually see the lineup to come in goes down the stairs, down, around, it goes along, and then it pulls a U-ey outside the building, comes back, and comes back down this way again. It's unreal. Okay, me again. Over time, the Buddha's been getting bigger and bigger because people have been putting all these gold sheets of leaf on it. Let's think about this for a second. We saw in the lineup some guy who had one of these leaves, and we asked him how much he paid for them, and it was 3,000 chot, which 3,000 chot's about $3. Minimum wage around here is about $5 a day. So base that on Canadian income of, I don't know, $80 a day, a minimum wage, you're dropping $40 to put a little peel and sticker thing on Buddha's head. Now, if you look at the number of people who have put little peel and stick dealies on Buddha's head, that's untold hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, at least in this income base, that could have been used to, like, drink fresh water and pick up garbage and all that. Like, I just don't get it. Anyway, I'll be back in a second with the stone tablets. So we just went into a room where there's a couple of statues originally from Angkor Wat. The story is, behind these statues, is that if you rub them in whatever part of the statue that you feel pain, that your pain will be relieved. Now, I, being the idiot that I am, there was only like one person here in the last 8 years that's tall enough to rub the top of their head. So I ended up doing it. It turns out there's like an inch of dust there because no one else is tall enough to do it.
We made it. Okay, there we go.
Oh, thank you.
Where are we off to now?
Now we're going to this, which is known as the world's biggest book.
Okay,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
In Bhutan, we saw the world's biggest book. So how does Myanmar have the world's biggest book at the same time as Bhutan has the world's biggest book?
You'll be surprised to find out that this is all the inscription on the marble stone slabs.
Yeah.
So from page 1 to page 729. So one marble stone slab in-house with a shrine. On top is a stupa,
Yeah.
crowned by umbrella. That's counted as one page. So it took 6 years of construction to have it built, and we have all in a row.
That does sound like a very big book.
Yeah,
Perhaps the world's biggest.
yeah, that's what they call a world biggest book.
I think that's the most refreshing sign I've ever seen at a tourist attraction.
So this is considered as one page. The page is all written on these stone inscriptions are in Pali language. Pali is something that's come from Sanskrit. So only the monks and nuns, they can read and write Pali. I can't, because if I want to read Pali, I have to study. Myanmar language is totally, and there we have the stupa there, and crowned by the umbrella is called one page. So we have all in a row. So around surrounding this big pagoda, so we have 729 pages altogether.
Okay, me again. Same rant. Why would you spend all this time and effort carving a book into stone? Look, I get it. Look, the Christians did a good job. They had 2 stone tablets, one dude, haul it down, here you go. But you've got, I don't know, 700 and whatever pages, and each one of them is this elaborately carved thing in this other thing, and they're row upon row. Like, build a street. Like, do something constructive with it. I don't get it. Anyway, that's my rant. As with any Myanmar monument, there was the big gold thing in the middle. Do you remember the mantra you had to recite for the spell?
Something like a Mia, Mia, Mia.
My foot's on fire.
I say something like,
Big money, big money, big money. Did you just rip that out of it? Oh. After ripping out a chunk of the fence, our guide demonstrated.
Not here, here.
oh, there, okay, so this is. What do I say?
Amia, amia, amia.
Amia, Amia, Amia. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
And it's hot on the feet. Thank you, thank you.
Burning feet. And for some reason, the billboard of what not to do is brought to you by Lactosoy.
You are there?
I'm coming. So we've driven up to almost the top of a hill to see.
I think this is the Mandalay Hill Monastery or something like that.
Yeah, it's on the GPS. It starts with an S and it says pagoda. The Shwedagong Pagoda. Shwedagong Pagoda. This camera's getting really heavy. Oh, there's that. What the? This just seems really sketchy.
In the legend, we were told that Lord Buddha had been here while he was becoming enlightened, and he visited this mountain range, and he stood here and facing to the southern side, and he pointed his finger saying that there's going to be a very auspicious city one day, and the king will be a very religious king, and the king will carry on my religion. So in order to fulfill the Buddha's prophecy, so it was King Mino, he moved his capital from Amarapura to Mandalay, especially exactly the point where Buddha pointed his finger.
We took a brief flight from Mandalay to Hee Ho and then drove west to Pindaya Lake. We're on our way from the airport at Hee Ho to Inle Lake, which is where the cave Buddhas are, and it's a very, very scenic drive. So we've arrived at the top of whatever street it was we drove to get up here, and we're in the caves. We're going to the caves anyway. There are Buddhas in the caves.
8,000?
8,000 of them of various sizes. And they said bring a flashlight, so... Oh look, that's us! According to the no smoking sign, this is the Pindaya Cave. Due to budget cuts, this is how Mom and I are flying our next mother-son travel trip.
Okay, so as you know that the name of the town is Pindaya.
Yeah.
Situated on the 1,180 meter, the king from this region, who he owned the... Oh, sorry. So who he has the seven...
But let me give you the Coles Notes version. There were 7 princesses traveling the area, and it got dark. So the princesses took shelter in this cave. At night, this spider wound his web around the entrance. A prince heard the princesses calling out and came and shot the spider. Then the prince thought, hey, we can put a bunch of Buddhas in here and get a shitload of money if we let people pay to put their name on them. I'm not quite sure about that last part, but anyway.
So this is a limestone cave. The chemical reaction between the limestone from the calcium carbonate, rainwater or the groundwater from the carbonate acid, million to million years tend to form the cave. So when we see in the cave, the first thing we see the one stupa. So the local people most of the local people who they believe that the stupa was built by the King Asoka from India, BC, before the Christ, 232, renovated by the King Situ from Bagan, AD 1113. But archaeologists believe that, so in the cave, so stupa or the Buddha images are nothing older than 300 years. So according to the 1983 record in the cave, totally the 8,094 Buddha images. But nowadays it's more than 10,000 of the Buddha images. They put the new Buddha images.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think this was the part of the trip where I started to turn on Buddhism. This cave really wasn't an example of the ancient cultures and traditions of the Myanmar people. It was an exercise in how much you can stuff into a cave. And a maze. Why do you need a maze? Anyway, each of these larger statues has a plaque underneath it that shows who donated the money for this particular statue. But it's not permanent. Every so often they grind off the name and etch someone else's name in it. I mean, it was fascinating here, but fascinating like a Buddhist episode of Hoarders. There was even a meditation room, which was a smaller cave with smaller Buddhas in it, and something that looked a lot like it should be a beer fridge. Success! So 1,440 of the Buddha images are in this one particular wooden stupa here. What we thought was the end of the cave turned out to be the entrance to another section of the cave.
So in this chamber, most of the Buddha images are the new one. They are also the mostly they are the original donor.
That is a visual depiction of what life at Dunaway Jackson is like. Or just working as a lawyer in general.
Going through this cave reminds me of trying to find my way through IKEA.
Well, there is only one way you can go with a couple of small shortcuts. There's a bunch of stuff in writing that doesn't make any sense, though.
Exactly, yes.
Just leaving the Pindaya Caves, and as we're walking down the little gangway here, there's a plaque on the side that said, Twin Kid Cake. I've no idea. I look like a Smurf. Yeah, I had a crappy night's sleep last night, so I'm in prime rant mood. It was 27 degrees last night in the hotel room. While we're actually at the Inle Inn in Pindaya. They have those stupid f***ing sinks with one hot and one cold, like separate hot and cold taps. It's really annoying. You'd think that was a thing other than your elementary school bathroom, just to piss you off. One other thing I found here, absolutely inexcusable. Your beer needs to be cold. You cannot serve warm beer. It is not Guinness. You do not slice it and serve it on a plate and take pride in the fact that it's warm and tastes like crap. It is a lager. It should be cold. I don't know how many, I had to ask these people 5 times, can you make this cold? Okay. And then they come back 10 minutes later, be slightly colder. Is this cold enough? No. Put it back in the freezer. Like, everything's lukewarm. Water, I don't know. Anyway, rant over for now. All right, off to Inle Lake now, right? Yeah. Okay. We're actually not on our way. Today is market day. And we're visiting the market. We actually headed to it yesterday. Mom bought a hat for $2.50.
Yes.
And I bought a beer for $2. Our guide showed us a thing and asked us to guess what it was. I had no idea. Here it is. Take a guess. All right. It's red ants. Won't be moving along now. I'm trying to figure out how wigged out I should be by the fact that there's just chickens hanging out in the 31 degree heat. Then I realized they're probably alive yesterday, killed this morning and at the market, so they're really quite fresh, but oh, something smells. I don't know what it is. Figured out what it was. I just saw a bowl of something. I'll buy anyone a beer who can actually tell me what that is. It's interesting when you stay here a little while, you start to see patterns. Like, it's kind of like home. I mean, the infrastructure isn't the same, but there's the same bored-looking guy that is incredibly efficient in his job, and it's kind of mesmerizing watching him just count out stuff and chuck stuff into bags and take money and lather, rinse, repeat.
A little smelly, but otherwise interesting.
It's a bit of an understatement. Actually, it wasn't as bad as that fish market in Zanzibar. I almost wanted to hurl there, so that jackhammery sounding noise is actually it's a toy that some dude's trying to sell. We drove from Pindaya to Inle Lake through some very scenic farming country. Okay, the challenge is to describe this without using the word sketchy.
Interesting.
Interesting, there you go, that's a good one.
Adventurous.
Yeah.
Challenging.
Random people took our bags, I assume we'll get them back. It's time for the usual disclaimer. Camera, we've come quite far. We're going on another sketchy boat in some body of water I've never heard of. We'll see what happens.
So how do we get in the boat? The best way is to just step directly on the deck. Okay, and then the sit immediately.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so far so good. Nothing's wet. Well, my knee's wet, but whatever. Nothing electronic is wet. We haven't capsized. And I think our luggage is here. Okay, it's officially one of those moments on the trip where you have no idea what's going on. In the middle of a giant lake. And we're going, I'm gonna go with, west. Oh, actually, I stand corrected. We're coming up to number 4. Our first stop was to see a fisherman fishing the waters.
Firstly, he's going to see inside the water. When he sees the bubbles or the movement, it will be the fish. Okay. Okay. At the time, he will be dropped at the net to the Inle Lake bottom. It means the fish is inside the net. He used it as the spear, chase or slightly to the fish. No, oh! No, oh! Hello! No, only! Okay. And release the net. So it means the net will be together as the net pocket in the bottom of the Inle Lake. Okay, you let me see the fish. Very good.
So the funny part I didn't originally notice about this fisherman, if you slow the video down, you can see that there aren't actually any fish in the net when he brings it out of the water. Then, here, he pretty obviously grabs a fish he already caught and dumps it into the net. And we're coming up on 5 now. Turns out I had the microphone set wrong, so there's probably shitty sound for the last 10 minutes. Sorry about that. Anyway, we passed 6 a second ago, and it looks like we're coming up on 7. Hang on. Not quite. Up higher. There we go.
Business fertilizer in the floating garden.
So after driving for probably about 45 minutes or an hour or so, we've reached the other side of the lake. To what end, I don't know, but it's green and there's like buildings and stuff.
These are the floating gardens.
Okay. I'm standing up at a boat. There's no way this could end poorly. So these are the floating gardens, according to Mom. I can confirm that they are both gardens and floating. There were tomatoes back there a little while ago. I don't know what else they have here. It looks just like your usual assortment of fruits and vegetables. There's squash. So we passed through the floating gardens and we are now into the... What is this? What's it called? Like a floating town or something? Floating city. There we go. That's the floating motel where no one is seen from again. There you go, Mom. 3-car garage, waterfront view.
There you go, yeah.
I expect this is our lunch stop. I'm pretty sure we just valet parked a boat. false alarm. This was a cigar making factory. Now it's 5 minutes to lunch. The rest of the day was spent looking at the other various attractions in the floating village. Now the blacksmiths. Next, floated along to some pagoda or stupa or something. Another temple! Yay! And done. I like this guide. We spent about 4 minutes in there.
It's perfect time.
Silversmith, another quick visit. All right, next is something. Oh, the neck.
Who
Yeah, those
had
necks.
rings to their neck
Yeah, to push the
to
collarbones
stretch their
down.
neck.
And then we're going to a monastery, and then I think we have a hotel. I asked the guide how to say cold beer, and it's beer ale. So hopefully I'll get a cold beer. We're going literally like 60 feet. It's right there. Our guide suggested I could walk. It's been a while since I've walked on water. The original history of the neck rings was actually quite interesting. Way back in the day, the women in the villages used to be susceptible to a lot of tiger attacks, and tigers would usually attack by grabbing the women at the neck. So in order to protect themselves from the tiger attacks, the women started putting these brass rings around their necks.
Oh my God, that's very heavy. Oh wow.
And over time, they just put more and more brass rings on, and their necks got longer and longer, and it ended up becoming a symbol of social status.
That's heavy.
To the temple.
Yes,
Is that where we're at now?
monastery.
Monastery. Right, sorry. Do they have beer there? I'm too fat, I've stuck the boat. So now we're not going to a temple. We're not going to a stupa. We're going to a monastery. Oh, and we're going through like this tiny port thing. We've arrived in the vast cornfields of Canada. I'm guessing this is the monastery because it doesn't look like a stupa. It kind of looks like a really old barn with like alien communication turret. I don't know what the hell that thing is. 3 magic eyes of something. I don't know. I got nothing. It's been a long day.
He said all the tourists look like such geeks, including us.
Yep. Definitely. Hey, at least we're here. We'll take that as a thumbs up. There, you got the idea.
This Buddha was behind the 8 ball.
Oh yeah. It's that time of the day. There's a Buddha here with a crown. That's, I think, new. We haven't seen that before, have we? The crown Buddha?
Not that elaborate.
Oh, we've come to the end of the temple here. It's actually quite nice back here. This is very sort of Saskatchewan-y. Well, actually, no, not at all.
Maybe north.
Yeah.
We were going right up north.
Really?
Yes, at one time.
Saskabush?
Wild rice, yep.
Again, I don't understand how life works here. Why the f*** are you giving a monk chips, yogurt, and a bottle of Fanta? Good to go? We're on our way home to the hotel and I just broke the chair. We won't say anything, will we? 2 things. Number 1, we're coming up to our hotel by boat, which is kind of cool. And number 2, our guide's got this whole boating thing figured right out. I think you're right. I think that is the spa. Yeah, there's the, yeah. Walked the 300 meters down here to film a sunrise and everything's gray. So it's our last full day in Myanmar, actually. We're heading from the really awesome hotel here at Inle Lake. We have another day of puttering around the lake, and then we're back to Yangon overnight, and then we have our flight heading out tomorrow at noon to Ho Chi Minh City to start the tour of Vietnam. So yes, cut to the boat driver pulling up. Bye! All right, we're off on another river adventure. So we've left the main highway, and I think we're on some of the more residential streets in this area. I think we're going through what looks like a series of locks here. As close as you can get to a lock anyway. Making it out of bamboo. Peter O'Toole's ready again.
Oh, God.
The name of the village is we call the Inle.
Inle, yep.
Inle. In means the lake, Ding means the shallow. This is why we call the Inle.
That was a beautiful drive.
Yeah, that was really nice.
The main stupa was built by the King Asoka from India, BC, before the Christ 232, renovated by the King C2 from Pagoda. It's compounded totally the 1,054 stupa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're seeing each one of them, right?
Yeah.
1,053.
Oh, right. We're missing
54. Yeah.
that one. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Stupid do I look in this hat? It's not too bad. Forgot sunscreen this morning, so here we are.
So you will see the hole, yeah?
Yeah.
Because of the vandalism. Like it's a treasure hunter.
Right. Did they bury stuff in here?
Actually, the buried mean that when they build the stupa, normally they put some of the Buddha relics or the replica, and also the Buddha images, and then the Buddha teaching. They write it down on the silver or maybe gold, maybe bronze, maybe also some of the family who they put some of the gems, as a ruby, sapphire, gold. Yeah.
This stupa here with all the roots climbing up in the tree, this is very similar to Angkor Wat, only there the roots cut out this way.
We found a local preparing the sunscreen / face cream stuff the Myanmar people use.
Nose gets burned. You're my makeup artist now, Win.
Why not?
As we wandered through the grounds, I couldn't help but wonder why all of these things were here. There were just so many of them, and I didn't really understand the point. Into the temple we go. We went from the 1,000 stupas outside to the inside of the temple, where there were only hundreds of stupas, gold stupas, and a gold Buddha. Yangon Express is number 2 in line for takeoff. So now we're back, we've got about another hour boat ride or so back to, I'm gonna go Inle Lake. I think we're on the lake, but we're going through the lake, back to the lake. No, we're not, we're on, yeehaw! Some river, oh yeah. We're going through all these locks again backwards now to get back to the lake, to go back to our car, to go back to the airport, to fly back to Yangon. And we spend one night in Yangon, and then we fly to Ho Chi Minh. So I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy the awesome yet incredibly loud boat ride. We is stuck. Oh, no, there we go. Slowly moving. Job in Inle Lake that I would not want to do number 1, boat driver. if you look at that boat over there, you can see that the exhaust pipe from the engine is actually in front of the driver, so he's inhaling the fumes all day. And this is not a short trip. I have to admit, by this point, I probably sound a little bit jaded about the temples. They actually were really interesting, but I just got kind of tired of looking at them in the 45-degree heat for days on end. But if you're interested in Buddhism or extravagant architecture like this, you would love Myanmar.